obviously some of you like more talking, some of you like less talking, and I can't do both all the time, so. Anyways, that was just on my mind. So first I'm going to start, this is diced tomatoes, fire roasted. The ingredients for fire roasted tomatoes are fire roasted tomatoes, tomato juice, sea salt, calcium chloride, and citric acid. This here is Erdes salsa verde, mild. Erdes is a product of Mexico. The ingredients in this salsa verde are tomatillo, chili pepper, onion, iodized salt, less than 1% of cilantro. I love cilantro. I know it's one of those things that, like, biologically some people hate it. It tastes like soap or something. I think it's like they have a specific enzyme in their mouth or whatever, I don't know. But I can't get enough cilantro, and unfortunately I'm married to one of those people who doesn't like it. But he does eat this, I guess because it has less than 1% of cilantro. Maybe he doesn't notice it. But we actually got tacos from our local taco shop recently. They're like traditional, like, street tacos. And he went and picked it up. And I was so mad because he came home and he didn't have, like, the little cup of cilantro like you get from, like, the toppings bar. Like, it's not a street taco for me without a bunch of cilantro on top. He did bring back cabbage. Fine. I like the cabbage too, but I want cilantro. I guess I should have opened this and put it on. So I thought when I thought of this idea that I was going to do a search on YouTube and find a bunch of videos of this sound. But mostly all I found was people eating canned foods, which is not the type of ASMR I consume or create. Yeah, I don't know if this is tingly for anybody else, but literally I'll be putting away groceries and stacking cans and get tingles. So I'm hoping I'm not the only one. Okay, let's explore some other cans. I'll put these ones over here so I remember. Okay, this next one is apple pie. I'm gonna get a second one too so I can do the This is apple pie filling and topping. Definitely more dense and heavy. I mean, it's obviously a bigger can too, but my husband asked for me to pick these up recently when I had to make a Target trip, because he wants to make these mini pies that he saw a recipe for in his mom's cookbook or something. We've had them for a couple weeks and I still have not had a mini pie. We'll see. Luckily the ingredients last a long time, so. The ingredients for apple pie filling are apples, water, sugar, modified cornstarch, cinnamon. Looks like that's it. I just saw on Twitter that ASMR Glow made a pumpkin pie, apple pie, and it looked really good. It was kind of looked more like a French tort to me. And she said she didn't put cinnamon in it, and I'm wondering if that's a French thing or a Glow thing. Because I feel like American apple pie always has cinnamon in it, doesn't it? Alright, and the other can that I just took out of the bag is Bush's Best Vegetarian Baked Beans. So I am not vegetarian, but I don't eat red meat. So we have to get vegetarian beans for me and my son, who I've put on my diet of no red meat, even though my husband does eat red meat. Obviously, he can decide when he's older, but my son, that is, my husband has decided for himself. I didn't think of the crinkle aspect to these cans, but the labels are kind of crinkly. Actually, this one is very. Let's see how they sound together. let's see what the ingredients of Bush's best baked beans. I think they're the ones that have like the dog in the commercial, right? Where he shares the like family recipe with the dog. Because he swears into secrecy. Because he can't talk, but then he ends up talking or something. Ingredients: prepared navy beans, water, brown sugar, tomato puree, which consists of tomato paste and water, contains 2% or less of salt, mustard, modified cornstarch, onion powder, spice, extractive of paprika, garlic powder, and natural flavor. I am so not a fan of that ingredient. Natural flavor. What does that mean? I guess that's the secret part of the secret family recipe. I mean, aren't all of these ingredients natural flavor? I mean, they have natural flavor, right? Seems like cheating. What if somebody's allergic to that natural flavor? When my son first started eating solids, we had baked beans at like a family dinner, and he kept eating them and eating them and eating them. We're like, holy cow, this kid likes beans. And then I remembered that like the second ingredient in baked beans is sugar, so he was a little hyped after the beans. Let's see, this has 12 grams of sugar in a half cup, and there are 3.5 servings in this little 16-ounce can. Salsa says Mexico's authentic Mexico's #1 salsa brand. Do I have any viewers in Mexico? I know I have friends that are from Mexico that watch sometimes. Is that true? It says popular brand there. I'm a fan of it. It's not spicy. So my gringo taste buds can handle it. Okay, let's try some others. Let's see what we have. tomatoes, giving it an especially delicious Southwest style flavor. This one is gluten-free and certified vegan. I think Amy's is all vegetarian and some vegan, I think. It is USDA organic. Organic soup. Organic soup. Organic soup. Organic soup. Okay. And the next one is tomato sauce. Wait, what did I? Oh, I already did taste tomato. This one is tomato sauce. But the same brand. Same brand as the other one. The other tomatoes, which is the Amazon brand. Happy Belly. Happy Belly. We've just started going back to doing some of our shopping in person at the grocery store. But up until recently, almost all of our stuff was coming from Amazon Fresh because we experimented with a couple of different local grocery stores for food delivery, and they always massively messed up a decent portion of our food. It'd be like stuff we didn't eat, or we'd like be missing a key ingredient for a dinner we had planned. Then one of us would have to run into the store or to a different store to get it anyways. But we've had very little issues with Amazon Fresh in that way. If they don't have it, we know, and then we can find an alternative. Like our local grocery store, we ordered salmon fillets once. I think it was salmon, some sort of fish. But it was like 3 or 4 like pieces of fish so that we could have a dinner. And when it came, they had given us 2 full salmons, like when they're like cut in half and like on a big tray, like this big. 2 of them. Like somebody thought, oh, that's a good comparison. They want 3 or 4 fillets to maybe feed like 3 or 4 people. Let's give them 2 whole fish. Giant fish. Luckily they took them back. But like, Amazon would like to remind you to feed every day with joy. Feed every day with joy. I think part of it is it's almost like a metallic lid sound, which I know might be a little jarring for some people because metal is kind of a tricky trigger. But I think this might be one of those where the sound triggers some like nostalgia. already a bunch of videos and they just didn't come up for me when I searched for some reason. About the little ones together. There's one more can. More vegetarian beans. These are Rosarita vegetarian refried beans. Rosarita. These are like my go-to refried beans. I've tried a couple of other ones, but for some reason I don't like them as much. I think maybe because this is what my mom used to get when I was a kid. Or when I was younger, so maybe it's just, that's why it's my preference. I mean, they're not even close to, like, a good Mexican restaurant. So these are my favorite, like, at-home option. These ones are from Chicago, Illinois. New York City. I don't know how universal that quote is. It was from like a salsa commercial. And somebody was complaining about, they were talking about salsa. And this, I think the one was made in Texas or something, probably. I don't think it was actually like from Mexico, but the like off-brand that they were served was apparently made in New York, so they say New York City. Apparently, you don't get good salsa from New York City, but you do get good baked beans or refried beans from Chicago. The ingredients in these refried beans are cooked beans. It doesn't say what kind of beans. I think it's usually pinto beans, but it seems weird that it doesn't say. Maybe they must use like a mix or blend or something. Cooked beans, water, and then less than 2% of canola oil, salt, distilled vinegar, chili pepper, onion powder, spices, natural flavor, and garlic powder. Spices and natural flavor. Alright, let's try the beans together. salsa verde. Reduce a lot of sounds when I clink these things together too loudly. Okay, so if you made it this far, I'm assuming you like the can sounds. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you've ever seen a video like this before with canned food sounds. I'm gonna try looking again, but like the first 4 or 5 things that came up were a guy somewhere in Europe, I think, who does mukbang, and he was eating canned foods. I did not watch them. That is not my top choice of ASMR. I actually hate the sound of people eating, so. Okay. I think I could just keep doing this all day, but I need to go do things.